I don't know why that always takes 2 attempts. Anyways, welcome to race number 7 of 29 here in the 1990 throwbacks. Bill Elliott got the win last week, and that shot him directly into the points lead going here into probably the biggest wild card race of the season, North Wilkesboro. Oh boy. This track is a notorious wreckfest. And yeah, that's just the best way to describe it. It's just a notorious wreckfest. Unfortunately. Anyways, the qualifying results are going to come through now, and Bill Elliott will pick up the pole here from North Wilkesboro in, well, what I would say is pretty unsurprising fashion. He's got pretty much all the momentum he has in the world. Unbelievable. As I just bungled that. Okay, so now I'll talk about the top 10 here for starting. Bill Elliott is on the pole. We've got Jeff Bodine in second, Darrell Waltrip third, Phil Parsons in fourth, Ricky Rudd fifth, Tim Richmond in sixth, Alan Kowicki seventh, Sterling Marlin in eighth, Terry Labonte ninth, and Rusty Wallace will round out the top 10. It is a very tight points battle so far, with the top 3 in points only 5 points away from each other. Here's the command.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
The command has been given. Of course, it's the 3-way dogfight for the points lead is between Elliott, Bodine, and Waltrip. This is always an insane race. Don't be surprised to see multi-car pileups, maybe even a flip or two. Or this track could end up shocking us all. As I just realized I need to do something real quick. This will be real quick. I'm sorry that we're kind of missing the green flag of the race. But anyways, green flag is out. Hopefully that'll minimize any kind of lag. I'll let them fly by here coming off of turn number 2. I apologize for that. Anyways, Bill Elliott will end up leading lap number 1. Darrell Waltrip will fall into the 2nd position. Jeff Bodine trying to hold on to 3rd. Don't think that's going to happen. Rudd slid him off the track, so Rudd will take over 3rd. Bodine will slip to 4th, maybe. Parsons will overtake the 4th position. It looks like he will definitely overtake the 4th position. And Parsons is going for 3rd. Parsons going for 3rd, and he's got it. And Bodine's going to try to take 4th back. Bodine's going to get the 4th position. See if Rudd can hold off for 5th, and it looks like he will. Lap number 4, and we still don't have a caution yet. I'm honestly surprised. That is an anomaly. Oh, we've got the 17 going down pit road. And now the yellow flag is out. That does not look good. No. So Harry Gant once again having a very difficult time. And oh boy, Gant got a good piece of that inside wall. And Jack Pennington just runs into the back of the 33 with nowhere to go. And now I imagine pit stops are happening. But with it being so early in the race, there's got to be at least a few drivers that opt not to pit, and that is indeed the case with Terry Labonte maybe being the only person opting not to pit. Looks like everyone else came on the pit road some way or another. Jeff Bodine looks all sorts of mangled up. See what happened to him. Yeah, it must have happened coming onto pit road. Maybe hit the pit barrier coming in. Oh, it's even before that. I think his side looks okay there. Maybe he hits the wall here. No, he's still good. There goes the 17 just diving into pit road. Oh, he's hard off the wall there. That'll be the damage caused to the 11. Of course, that damage is going to cost Jeff Bodine several positions. Meanwhile, your leader is Terry Lawani. It looks like our top 10, as always, seems to be an interesting mix of drivers, as Terry Labonte is in the lead. Bill Elliott is in second. Tim Richmond third. Darrell Waltrip fourth. How about this one? Derek Cope has found his way. In fact, Darrell Waltrip isn't even in the top 10 anymore, so put Derek Cope into the fourth position. You're going to see the standings update here. So put Derek Cope in the fourth position. I have no idea how that's going on. Rusty Wallace fifth, Eddie Bierschwell in sixth, Dale Earnhardt seventh, Alan Kowicki eighth, Kyle Petty in ninth, and Brett Bodine will round out your top 10. We should get restarted here in about a lap and a half. As this continues to be a very typically crazy race. It looks like we're going to have one car line up on the inside lane, being a lap down car, and that's going to be Harry Gant in the 33. Indeed, there he is. So Harry Gant will line up on the inside. That might end up hamstringing traffic a little bit on this restart here, so don't be surprised if we get yet another immediate caution. Usually caution flags are given out like candy for the first 50 to 60 laps of this race. Yeah, it's usually a little difficult. Anyways, the stream froze for a little bit there. I estimate for a little less than a second. Glad it came back though. Anyways, the cars come down to the line, and the green flag is back out here from North Wilkesboro. Terry Labonte will have the lead. He's going to pull away a little bit from Elliott. If we do take a look at fastest lap times, Terry Labonte is nowhere to be found, and Bill Elliott is fastest. So that ought to be interesting. Here's Rusty Wallace. He'll get down to the inside of the 33 of Gant. He'll go around. Cope trying to maintain to a top 5 position. And the yellow flag is out. And that's a track blocking accident. Something happened going into turn 3. And oh, there you go. And you'll see that the track will clog right up. Whoa! What happened to Jimmy Spencer? Oh, go back. What happened to Jimmy Spencer? What in the world? Okay, that was almost a wreck right there. Jimmy Spencer ends up hitting off the inside wall. He gets popped on his roof by the 17. Well, the front of Waltrip's car is completely gone. Yellow flag immediately being displayed. Looks like Terry Labonte's going to lose some positions on pit road. First off pit road though, number 9, Bill Elliott. Yes, indeed. He's not going to die from that accident. Oh, we'll review that again because that was just an insane wreck. Let's see here, he'll come down, hits off the inside retaining barrier there, and then hit on his passenger side, up onto his roof, into the catch fence, back on all 4 wheels. No driver's side impact. So he should be okay-ish. So now the top 10 once again is going to change radically. Elliott goes back to the lead, Tim Richmond in second, Rusty Wallace in third, so pretty much no surprises there. Brett Bodine moves up to 4th, Eddie Bierschwil stays in 5th, Neil Bonnet goes up to 6th. It's been 5 years now to the date where Neil Bonnet has actually won a race. Last time he won a race here in the Throwbacks, the 1985 First Union 400 here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. In 7th we have Bobby Hillen Jr. In 8th we have Derek Cope. In 9th, rookie Rob Moroso. And in 10th, Ernie Irvin in the number 4 car. You gotta love this. 1, 2, 3, 4. All different manufacturers. Bill Elliott in the Ford. Tim Richmond in the Chevrolet. Rusty Wallace in the Pontiac. And Brett Bodine in the Oldsmobile. And the best Buick representative being Bobby Hillen Jr. in the 8th. There he is. He's up in the 7th position. So you really can't fault there being any kind of manufacturer disparity. No doubt about it. All the manufacturers are up here. Quite a testament to just how close the manufacturer battle can be sometimes, even though it's primarily dominated by Ford and Chevy. Anyways, the cars come down to the line. Green flag is out. At least Sterling Moreland's going to give it a fighting chance. Gant's just like, yeah, I know my car is done. Ooh, close to outside wall impact there for Sterling Moreland. And now here comes the core drivers yet again. I don't know where Earnhardt is. I really don't know where Earnhardt is. He's back in the 33rd position. But if you remember back to 1988, here's 3 out of the 4 drivers from that year that were competing for the championship. And the caution flag is back out. Another big wreck down the back straightaway, and a bunch of people hit the pit barrier. Let's see here. Which wreck is this going to be? There's multiple wrecks going on. And there's that. Well, there goes Earnhardt. He's done. And another round of pit stops to commence. Ernie Irvin was involved. He's coming back out on the track. As I said, this track is crazy. Very, very crazy. And looks like, oh, Elliott's going to come back down pit road, so maybe missing a lug nut or something. I'm not 100% sure why Elliott would come back down pit road. But clearly something happened to the 9 car that they didn't like on the pit stop. So they're going to come back down pit road, make or fix whatever happened. This is going to be a huge disadvantage to Elliott. Huge advantage to the new leader, though, and that's going to be Tim Richmond in the 25. Chad Little, he's up into 4th, but I think he's going back down pit road. See if that's going to be the case or not. It is indeed the case that he's going to go back down pit road. Well, unsurprisingly, we've got a huge carnage list early on, especially after that massive accident on the back straightaway. That'll leave 27 cars on the track. And as far as I can tell, 25 of those cars are on the lead lap. So 25 cars on the lead lap. Your top 10 is going to be Tim Richmond in the lead, Rusty Wallace second, Neil Bonnet third, Eddie Bierschwell fourth. We've got Brett Bodine fifth, Bobby Hillen sixth, Kyle Petty seventh, Ron Moroso in eighth, Derek Cope ninth, and Mark Martin rounding out the top 10. Lights are off on the pace car, and it looks like we're going to be going back green. 77 laps to go here at North Wilkesboro. And green flag is out. And boy, Wallace is right back on the prowl. He's going to go down to the inside of the 25. Wallace going for the lead. Remember, this is historically one of his best tracks. And Wallace will take the lead. He has 3, count them, 3 runner-up finishes at this track, but he hasn't scored a win yet. And now Rusty Wallace is going to take the lead here in North Wilkesboro. Looks like no incidents yet, but Bobby Hillen Jr. coming down pit road for some reason. That's not going to be good for Hillen. He was having such a good day. Ken Schrader, oh, he's in the wall. And Michael Waltrip in the wall. Everyone's okay though. As we can see, Jeff Bodine trying to frantically move through the field. It can be quite difficult at times to pass at this track, but it does have just barely a wide enough groove where you can start to get around cars. Now Jeff Bodine's going to try to move himself inside of the top 10. He's going to have to get around Ricky Rudd. Somebody who has been a championship contender of sorts, at least has been in the top 10 in points pretty much every year since 1984, the beginning of the throwbacks. Ricky Rudd, in his best career year, probably coming in 1985, where he led at least one lap in 22 consecutive races. I still don't know if that's a record or not, because I just don't think that that's a record that's ever been kept. It can be figured out, but I just don't know. But that's something that Ricky Rudd did. And that's back when he was driving the 15 for Bud Moore. Meanwhile, drivers that are overachieving today, how about Eddie Bierschwale up into the 4th position? And Neil Bonnet, he's up in 3rd, but he knows how to drive this track real well. I really don't think it's a surprise that Bonnet's up here. And he almost won the Holly Farms 400 the last time we were here. So, you know, I don't really want to call this overachieving for Bonnet, but that's really what he's doing right now. He's going above his usual stat potential. And he's doing a great job of it. I can't say that I'm disappointed for Bonnet. He's done a great job. Rusty Wallace continuing to be at the front of the pack here at North Wilkesboro. You are watching the first Union 400 here in the 1990 throwbacks. Your top 10 is currently Rusty Wallace in the lead, Tim Richmond 2nd, Neil Bonnet 3rd, Eddie Bierschwale 4th, Kyle Petty 5th, Mark Martin 6th, Brett Bodine 7th, Alan Kowicki 8th, Ricky Rudd 9th, and Terry Lawani rounding out the top 10. Oh, now Ricky Rudd just got passed by Terry Lawani. And of course, Jeff Bodine is coming in the 11th. We'll see if he can get anywhere. Ah, there he goes. He moves to 26, using the bumpers. Not surprised to see really aggressive racing here. And that'll put Bodine ahead. And then Bodine goes up the track, pretty much nullifying any kind of advantage he had over Rudd there. And Rudd will use the bumper. Well, I don't know if that'll get him an advantage or not, because Bodine's going to kill him off of turn 2. And Bodine just pulls away. So no advantage really given to either driver there. Eddie Bierschwale here in the number 90 really has had an impressive day. Probably one of the best days for Jimmy Donlevy that he's seen in quite a while for any of his drivers, and Bierschwale just has to be really happy with his performance. It seemed like when he came into the league in 1985, just a relatively unknown entity, kind of raced for DK Ulrich, and didn't really set the world on fire. And then he came back in 1988 with his dad owning the team in the 23 car. And he raced for his dad for 2 years and got back-to-back 26th place points finishes. And now here he is in the 90. Yeah, he's crossing his fingers and hoping that he can do better than, you know, 26th in the standings. Finishes like 4th will get you better than 26th in the standings, one would hope. And we'll see if Bierschwale will be able to retain. Of course, here comes Mark Martin in the 6th car, and to probably nobody's surprise, he is flying around this track. Now, the 2 fastest cars on the track right now are Martin and your leader, Rusty Wallace. And that really shouldn't come as any surprise to anyone. Wallace with his track record at this track being so good, and Martin just being Martin as of late. I mean, before this race he had 2 straight poles, and he's coming off of that runner-up finish at Bristol. Is that going to be problems? No. I thought that was going to be problems there. Indeed not. Bierschwell forcing the 33 up the track. Martin will be able to get around easily. Martin now looking for a way around Eddie. He didn't find it there. And he continues to not be able to find it. Man, you know, this North Wilkesboro race really got clean much quicker than the usual North Wilkesboro race. And the pack is just spread out. Not too many key battles for position going on anywhere, really. You look around, everyone's pretty much separated by 5 or 6 car lengths. What happened to Elliott? He's just went up onto his roof and over. Caution flag is out. Did I just hit the perfect time for that? What happened to Elliott? Okay then. It's going to do with contact with Helen. Yeah, Elliott up and well, not over. But contact with Helen. Looks like Irvin was involved as well. We'll see to what degree. Matt trying to get around and no good. No good at all. So now Elliott will be, I will say, officially unable to recover from that mistake. So today will not be Bill Elliott's day to win. However, it very well might be Rusty Wallace's day. He comes out of the pits in first, Tim Richmond second, Neil Bonnet third, Eddie Bierschwell fourth, Mark Martin fifth, Kyle Petty sixth, Brett Bodine seventh, Alan Corky eighth, Jeff Bodine ninth, and Terry Labonte 10th. So pretty much, basically no position changes on pit road whatsoever. And one of the things that makes this race so difficult to get through is that there's a lot of dead time underneath the yellow flags. Even between yellow flags, the racing can get quite. So. Looks like we'll be underneath 2 more laps of caution. Top 10 is pretty much exactly what I told you it is. After that, it looks like we've got 2 cars retired. The person that ended up on his roof did not retire from the race. Oh boy. So Hillen and Irvin are now out. That leaves 24 cars on the track, 16 cars on the lead lap, the last of which is Derek Cope in the 10. Your leader continues to be Rusty Wallace. Lights out on the pace car. Guessing that'll put Elliott 2 laps down. Okay, so he's not the first car lap down. Jimmy Horton is actually the first car 1 lap down, and I think actually no, Ron Moroso's in 13th, so never mind about that. Ron Moroso is rookie of the race right now. The other rookie, Jack Pennington, I'm gonna guess is out. Yeah, he was out. He was first person out. And green flag, 45 laps to go here from North Wilkesboro. Elliott has no speed whatsoever. Yeah, I'm going to say that his chances of winning today are none. I think that's probably going to be the best guess that you can make. And look at this move by Bodine here, down on the bottom. Ooh, 3 wide. Bierschwil got the wall. I saw that too. Eddie Bierschwil got the wall there. And Brooke Bodine's just going to take advantage of all of this. Jimmy Horton got into the wall. Brett Bodine's going to say, hello everyone. I will now be in the 4th position. Mark Martin just got past Bierschwil for 5th. And it looks like Mark Martin's about to get around Bodine for 4th. No. Maybe. I don't know anymore. Bodine's holding him off for now. Rusty Wallace, he's holding a pretty good candle against Tim Richmond up here at the front. Wallace does actually have the fastest lap out of all the drivers. It'll be nice to see the 27 car back in victory lane. The 25 just disappeared. Did he go on a pit road? Issues for Tim Richmond as he pulls on a pit road. Oh, wow. That basically leaves Rusty Wallace all alone up here at the front, and Neil Bonnet is now in the 2nd position. The Wood brothers have not won a race since, I think it was spring 1986, the last Talladega race that we ran without restrictor plates, and the race that Benny Parsons suffered his career-ending injury. Unfortunately. Bonnet is in the 2nd position now. I bet he wasn't expecting to be in a potential position to win the race, but hey, if he keeps it up, he actually might be able to do it. I don't know, Wallace is a juggernaut up here in the 27 car. You never know though, lap traffic can always play a key factor. Here comes the 25 car back out. He's scored 23rd position. 3 laps down. Oof. So right now, Rusty Wallace is all alone here at the front of the pack. He is pulling away from Neil Bonnet in the 21. Brett Bodine is holding his own in the 3rd position for now. But Neil Bonnet continues to pull away here at North Wilkesboro. right now it's just looking solid for Rusty Wallace to pick up career win number 11. And maybe try to march towards a championship here in 1990. Potentially the last year that he's going to have the owner of this team. Who knows? Really, who knows? No one really knows. Yeah, Raymond Beadle and Rusty Wallace, they really butted heads, rather, with each other last year. It just was not ugly. They struggled throughout the year, eventually got their stuff together in the second half and rallied up to a 4th place points finish, which I don't care how much sorcery you have, I still don't understand how that's possible. But Wallace came up and he did it. The world of NASCAR is weird sometimes, I swear. It is indeed. Wallace just continues to make his lead even wider. It's now up to over 4 seconds to Bonnet. I mean, only a brick wall can stop Rusty Wallace right now, or some kind of mistake, or something weird will happen with the 27 car. Anyways, Wallace, he continues to just coast, and that's all that he needs to do right now. He doesn't even need to push the wheels off of this car with a 4-second lead. I'm going to try to show other battles for position, but no other battles are really going on. I mean, you've got 5 cars in a row here trying to get position, but they're all basically equal with each other. So nobody's catching and nobody's trying to pass. So all else equal, nothing is mattering right now. I'm trying to get through some traffic here. Sterling Marlin not making it easy for him. Mark Martin really going up the track and losing momentum there. Maybe losing to Kyle Petty? Not quite. Phil Parsons, here he is. He's trying to hold on to 10th. Meanwhile, Rick Mass, remember he was the winner of the inaugural Sears Point race last year. Here he is in the 98, trying to get a top 10. Cope is just trying to be Cope-ish. And Rob Moroso continues to turn heads with what has been so far a decent performance in that 20 car. I mean, other than that, that's it. Wallace is going to start putting some cars a lap down soon, and coming to the line, 20 laps to go. He's opened up almost a 6-second lead over Neil Bonnet. In fact, it is over 6 seconds. So it's 6 seconds to Bonnet. The only thing that will stop the 27 from winning this race is if he gets involved in an accident, or if for some freak reason he's unable to make it to the end on tires. And I just highly doubt either scenario. Meanwhile, Mr. Runner-Up is going to try to... Mark Martin is going to try to get into second position. See if he can get there. He'll use the bumper to get around Bonnet. So Mark Martin trying to get back-to-back runner-up finishes. He's in no way, shape, or form able to contend for the win. As barring a miracle, this race is going to Rusty Wallace. Oh! Cars converging, diverging everywhere. Crazy situation going down the back straightaway there. And you know what? I just speak too soon. I think everyone's coming down pit road though. Hey, that will give 5 bonus points to Neil Bonnet though. Leading a lap. I think he's going to come down pit road here as well. Indeed. Is this going to be? No. So there goes the 27. And there goes the 6. Terry Labonte picks up 5 points for leading a lap, by the way. It looks like Mark Martin will come out in front of Neil Bonnet. So Mark Martin definitely officially has the second position. He is less than 6 seconds out, but 13 laps to go at this 5/8 of a mile oval. It's over. Brett Bodine blows up. Oh, you're so close to the finish. That is just not okay. And Rusty Wallace, he's gonna want to be careful here. Navigating some treacherous waters. Don't want to get too aggressive and blow this race. He's got a 6-second lead. He can take all the time in the world that he needs to get around these cars. And that was a close moment right there. But again, Wallace can take all the time in the world that he needs. No matter what, if he needs to pass somebody, I mean, 5 seconds up, 10 laps to go. You gotta beat 2. Oh, what's going on here? You gotta beat 2. What is it? 2 seconds? 2/10 of a second a lap? That's just not gonna happen. This track, it's you need a lot. No, you need a half a second a lap. You're just not gonna make that up. But then again, I said you're not gonna make it up last week, and we saw what happened there as it happened at Bristol. Maybe something will happen crazy here at North Wilkesboro, who knows? For all we know, JD McDuffie is going to hit the wall here, get into Derek Cope, and then cause a huge wreck down the back straightaway that Rusty Wallace gets into. Well, that didn't happen. But anything can and will happen, so just keep that in mind. By the way, a caution flag will not help Mark Martin's cause. That will only hurt Martin's cause. He wants the race to go green the rest of the way, unless the 27's involved in some accident. That is some truth. 5 laps to go. It looks like Wallace just has this race completely under control. Nothing that Martin will ever be able to do to take this. Whoa! Moroso and Bodine. I think that's for position actually up here. No, it's not. Moroso, last driver on the lead lap in the 9th place. So great job by Moroso getting a top 10 today, more than likely. Again, Rusty Wallace, he's being patient, and that's all he needs to do is be patient. He can stay behind Derek Cope for the rest of this race, and it isn't going to matter because of how large of a lead he's got. He can just be patient, take his time, pace around the track. It doesn't matter how much you win by, the only thing that matters is that you win. And right now it looks like the 27, he's going to win. White flag, 1 lap to go. Wallace looking smooth through 1 and 2. Absolutely nobody around him. 4-second lead. Now coming through turns 3 and 4. Coming off of turn 4. And Rusty Wallace is going to win here at North Wilkesboro. And that'll be the conclusion of this unsurprisingly wreck-filled race. Just look at all of the retirements. Crazy stuff. Anyways, here's the results for the race. Just going to scroll through them one more time so you can see them. Look at all the retirements that happened during that wreck. You go up, Rusty Wallace dominates in his victory at North Wilkesboro. A look at the standings. Jeff Bodine is back into the lead. And yeah, wow. The point standings are extremely tight, 7 races in. This is actually quite incredible that there's still 5 drivers within 20 points of each other, 7 races into the season. That's quite spectacular, actually. Wow. Wow. We'll see you next time for Martinsville.